Welcome to PST Channel. Luna 2 just dropped. And with that, we have the new, exciting story to look forward to. Rerir, the biggest threat we are facing, is back with full force. How will the Nodkrai unit face this predicament? How will Traveler face him? Will we find more answers from the moon? And who is Theelindis? Let's dive in and find out. The Traveler and Paimon stroll through Nasha Town when a ratnik rushes in, reporting a wild hunt attack nearby. They hurry to the scene, where everyone has already gathered. The Kavaki in the area have completely vanished, leaving them to suspect Rerir is absorbing it to restore his strength. Flynn proposes investigating other Kavaki-rich sites, reasoning that Rerir's focus is on regaining strength, not battle. They decide to split up and explore different regions of Nodkrai, agreeing to reunite later on Hisi Island, near the statue of Lady Qatar, which was carved from Kavaki-rich ore. After their search, Traveler and Paimon arrive in Hisi Island and find Lauma, Yehoda, and Flynn's. Flynn's had narrowed down the search to one suspicious individual, but couldn't find him at the moment. As they wait for Nefer and Aino to bring any leads, they hear a loud noise from the Silver Moon Hall below, confirming that Qatar must be in danger. As they rush to check, they find Rerir chasing after Qatar.
Why is he attacking the Damselette? What's going on?
No time for questions. Stop him!
This is insane.
Yehoda, get Qatar out of here!
On it.
Look where your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Theelindis, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
Made it out of there alive! What's that guy's deal? How'd he get so crazy strong?
With the help of Qatar's last remaining powers, the group successfully evades Rerir and rushes to a far location. Flynn's remarks that Rerir is a threat to the entire nation and too powerful. Qatar suggests running away, as none of them could fight Rerir's strength. Qatar suggests distracting him as bait, while the others use this chance to escape safely. The group refuses, stating that Qatar had saved them multiple times before, and now it's their time to repay her. Lauma says any relationship based on a need is just transactional, and she wishes Qatar to stay, not out of obligation, but as a family to the Scions. Qatar thanks her for the comforting words, saying her power is of little use. She confirms that teleporting away is one of her powers, but extremely draining on her. The Traveler suggests borrowing the power of the Eternal Moon's marrow, but Qatar explains that the 3 moons are distinct. She cannot directly wield the power of the other 2. However, moonlight has a way of intertwining. Each moon can reflect the other's glow. When their fingers touched, she was able to restore some of her strength by drawing Kavaki from the Eternal Moon's marrow, though the process was painfully slow. Just as they were talking, they are attacked by the Wild Hunt Scout sent by Rerir. Suddenly, they were saved by a mysterious person who is revealed to be Varka. They quickly escape to a secret meeting place of the Knights of Favoniums, which is also the contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network. Varka tells them this is a hub for all kinds of intel, with contacts to other nations as well. Varka introduces himself to the Traveler. He reveals he once fought Rerir, though their ambush failed when Rerir saw through it, leaving Varka's knights injured. Returning to find them, he arrived just in time to save the group. Since then, the knights have lost track of Rerir. The team then updates him on Nodkrai's situation when to Amsfartnir, as it was because there were reports of wild hunt activity, but they found it to be a diversion. Just around that time, Rerir got his body resurrected. His plan seemed to be working long before Rerir showed up. Varka briefs the group about the next 3 steps they have to follow through. First, they need to figure out a way to take Rerir down for good. Columbina suggests they could use a power not from this world. She carries the Frost Moon's power. The Eternal Moon's marrow rests within the Traveler, and finding the Iridescent Moon's marrow would help her regain her strength faster. Columbina and Traveler decide to work on finding the Iridescent Moon's marrow. For that, they need to visit Fatui Research Bureau and talk to Sandrone. Varka sets the next priority, uncovering Rerir's true goal and origin. So far, they know only his title. If they wish to drive out the Wild Hunt once and for all, they must understand it completely. Just then, Nefer arrives. Varka reveals that the only way to stop this crisis is by uniting all the factions of Nodkrai. Nefer joins them and reveals she's the head of the Northern Intelligence Network. Nefer is assigned to gather information about Rerir's past and the origins of the Wild Hunt. Before leaving, she requests the Rerir fragment that Flynn's had been carrying. Varka finally shares about the 3rd priority. They have to distract Rerir while the rest of the operation takes place. Aino suggests she could make decoys across Nodkrai, similar to Qatar's Kavaki signature. The group splits into 3 teams for 3 operations, tasked to return at the meeting spot as they finish. The special operation begins. The first team, consisting of Traveler, Paimon, and Columbina, head to the Fatui Research Bureau to meet Sandrone. Columbina asks Sandrone if Arlecchino is in Nodkrai. Sandrone replies that she left with the Rooster and Regrator and asks why she wants to know. Columbina explains she's being hunted by Rerir and intends to retrieve the lost moon. Sandrone agrees to send a message to Arlecchino. Sandrone says that under Tsaritsa's protection, none of them would dare harm her, but Columbina replies that such protection was merely transactional, and she grew tired of it. As they reminisce, wild hunt forces suddenly attack. Sandrone urges the trio to escape through the secret stairway while she stays behind. Using her automatons, she fends off the monsters until they overwhelm the defenses. Rerir arrives, but finding Columbina gone, departs, only for Polonia to strike in vain, swiftly crushed by him. Nefer, Lauma, and Yehoda are at the curatorium. Nefer opens the inner door, revealing the setup for some kind of ceremony. She wants to be sure to have proper backup and insurance in case something goes wrong. Nefer asks Yehoda to call for Dori. Lauma gets surprised by them working together. Nefer asks what she would do if faced with such a threat. Dori reveals a special pendant. Nefer bargains and successfully borrows it. All set for the ceremony, they enter the memories of Rerir in the past. Nefer sees a Khaenri'ah room from the olden days.
Luxury in Khaenri'ah. Unlikely. It was said to be a very prosperous nation in its heyday.
Nefer then shifts to another memory fragment. This one showing Rerir drinking with Dainsleif and his older brother, Vedrfolnir. Rerir reveals that he has decided to get married, becoming the first among them to settle down, though Vedrfolnir seems less than pleased. It's also clear that Rerir has kept his true occupation hidden from his partner. Vedrfolnir appears deep in thought, hinting at something he's keeping to himself, but Rerir chooses not to press further. The scene changes to another memory, where Rerir and Theelindis, his partner, talk as she returns from her research. She notices his worry, but he brushes it off as thoughts about Vedrfolnir. She dismisses it, saying they're nobodies in the eyes of the visionary. When Rerir asks about his proposal, she says she needs more time. Alone, Rerir reflects on their insignificance and reveals to himself that the king is purging Crimson Moon descendants and that he serves as one of the king's executioners. Nefer finds a black smoke and tries to check, heading to another memory. A kid named Orlog, who is a descendant of the Crimson Moon, reveals to Theelindis that Rerir led an assault team to wipe them out, revealing his identity to her. She asked him why he was telling her all of this, and he explains that he wanted her to kill Rerir. She refuses. Orlog warns her that Vinster's king's mind is clouded by the powers from the beyond, and it will eventually bring the fall of Khaenri'ah. And so, Theelindis learns about Rerir's secret. She exclaims, yet she's not any different. She vows to prevent the disaster. Nefer notices how this was not Rerir's memory, yet it existed in his fragment. Seeing the time for the ceremony running out, she calls it a day. Lauma, Nefer, and Yehoda are all back. Nefer tells them that the ceremony only works for a limited time. Lauma heads back, as Nefer would need some time to summarize all the intel. The Traveler and Columbina's team try to make their way, but get caught by monsters. Just then, they are saved by the Arlecchino, who burns the monsters away.
Sandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina.
It's Arlecchino! You came!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while, Arlecchino. While Lynette, and Freminette had gone to the Fatui Bureau to help Sandrone with her repair work. The team, with Arlecchino, head back to the meeting place. Varka had returned earlier, while Aino, Nefer, and Flins were working on the decoy task. They introduced the knave to Varka and everyone else. She already knows about the Grandmaster. He questions her intent, while she clarifies she's there to help in her personal capacity and not as a Fatui. The knave told her that she could help Columbina search for the iridescent moon's marrow. Yehuda shares the gathered intel with Nefer. Columbina adds that, long ago, Khaenri'ah worshipped the crimson moon, drawing power from its reflection, until a coup eclipsed it, birthing a new dynasty and emblem. They discussed Theelindis, their first real lead, though details remain scarce. Varka suggests splitting into teams to continue the investigation. The team, with Knave, Traveler, and Columbina, head for the search of the iridescent moon's marrow. Varka stayed at the meeting place to inform the others returning of the update, while also revealing he had called for some backup. Guided by Arlecchino, the Traveler's team arrives at their destination. She reveals she is a descendant of the Crimson Moon's royal bloodline and one of the last bearers of the two worlds' flames. The fire within her veins burns like living blood, and when her emotions surge, it threatens to consume her, explaining her scorched hands. She explains that the Crimson Moon was merely the shattered iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to survive. The blood flame she wields is a mix of that moon's power and abyssal corruption. Arlecchino also recalls how, upon being a harbinger, the jester gave her the book Prenari, which described an orphanage that refined children by forcing them through a fireplace ritual, asking, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Those who claimed to have seen the Crimson Moon were deemed reborn and chosen by the sages. They conclude the Crimson Moon marrow is sealed in a realm only reachable through a ritual, crossing the flames between the two worlds. Arlecchino will open the portal with her flames.
Beseech your descent.
Arlecchino opens the gates and advises not to answer any voices they hear. As they cross the passage and reach the secret space, they see a red moon, broken and fused with the abyss, floating in the sky. They notice a few mechanisms and try to use it. As they use the first mechanism, they see an after image of Theelindis, who seems to be researching this space. As they head to the second mechanism, they see another image where Theelindis seemed to find a way to stop something. The final mechanism, where Theelindis' shadow wanted to get her hands on an outsider. They unlock the chamber within the moon's reflection and proceed inside. After defeating the corrupted wild hounds, they discover the iridescent moon's marrow, burning with flames and tainted by corruption. The traveler absorbs the corruption, and a faint voice echoes. The voice apologizes for her cowardice and for lying before fading away.
That's odd. This place looks different than when we came in. Waning moon. Huh? Oh, lifeless damsel. Oh. Hurry! The place is collapsing! It wants to trap us here. Who's it? The abyss? Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy. Give it back! The crimson hounds! My marrow! My
is where you fall. Witness my rise. What are you waiting for?
As per their deal, Columbina gives the iridescent moon's marrow to Arlecchino to keep. Columbina absorbs the small ray of moonlight from Traveler and Arlecchino and restores some of her powers. The knave plans to get them back before meeting Sandrone. The group leaves for the meeting place. Traveler and Paimon return to the meeting point, where they reunite with Lauma and soon meet Flynn's. Flynn's met two warriors along the way, Albedo and his younger brother, Durin. Columbina and Arlecchino arrive soon after, although Arlecchino leaves to meet Sandrone. Inside the meeting hall, they find another unexpected ally, Dainsleif, who had been searching for the Traveler. United by a common threat, everyone agrees to join forces. Dain reveals he is looking for Nefer with a commission. He talks about the 5 sinners and how each of them were driven by their own desires. It was upon these that the Abyss tempted them to their fall, destroying Khaenri'ah in the process. The visionary Vedrfolnir, who wished to foretell the future. The wise Roptatir, who sought limitless knowledge. Gold Rindatir, who desired to create life. The foul Sertologi, who pursued supreme strength. And Rerir of Solnari, Rerir, Ravager of the Moon. He says that only Rerir remains a mystery to him. Although they were once friends, he doesn't know what changed Rerir. Varka begins his briefing. Given Albedo's alchemical background, he is assigned to find out if it's possible to kill the creature that Rerir has currently become and to experiment with any solution with the Wild Hunt. Since little is known about what truly shaped Rerir into a monster or what his real goal is, Nefer's team is reassigned to uncover more about his past. Nefer discusses the mission with Dainsleif and asks the Traveler to join later. The group regathers in the Curatorium's secret chamber, where Nefer explains the memory diving ceremony to the Traveler. Paimon decides to stay outside as backup. As the ritual begins, the Traveler, Nefer, Lauma, and Yehoda enter once more, diving deep into Rerir's memories. Nefer finds herself within Rerir's old Khaenri'ah quarters, where she notices him going through files, methodically crossing out the names of Crimson Moon targets he had assassinated. A faint, eerie voice echoes in his mind, whispering manipulative words, feeding his doubts and fury. In another memory, Rerir visits Vedrfolnir. He can't shake off Vedrfolnir's cryptic words from that night drinking together. As his best friend's brother, Vedrfolnir warms him gently, urging him not to pursue Theelindis, for their union would bring no happiness, only tragedy. Another memory from Theelindis reveals that she belonged to a distant branch of the Crimson Moon dynasty, which is why she lacked the Red Cross eyes, making her identity hard to trace. She worked as a researcher on the Lunar Marrow project, likely seeking alternative ways to harness the moon's power. Rerir was back in his office, checking his list of target files on his desks. Just when he notices that Theelindis was one of his next targets, he learns about her identity as a distant Crimson Moon descendant. He finally admits how ridiculous Vinster King's request had been, killing everyone for no reason. Rerir wanted to put an end to this. Later, he let one of the target orphans leave without killing her. As per Rerir, the mysterious voice he used to hear was from Vedrfolnir, who keeps asking him to abandon Theelindis or look for a greater power to protect their future. Nefer deepens her search and tries to read between the hidden lines. We get a glimpse of what happened to Rerir on that fateful day. Dain gathers Rerir, Rindatir, Roptatir, and Sertologi, where he explains that Vinster King has had Vedrfolnir blinded in both eyes and imprisoned. This enraged Dainsleif. He gathered his friends and planned to storm the place, to put some sense into the king and to save his brother. Another memory of Theelindis appears. She's seen researching the Crimson Moon's marrow. It's revealed that the marrow is linked to divine power and can open a portal to an unknown realm. However, activating it requires an immense energy source that doesn't yet exist. With Khaenri'ah's focus diverted to abyss energy research, Theelindis remains the only one still studying moon marrow. The orphan that Rerir had let go came to meet Theelindis. Theelindis gives her the piece of Crimson Moon in hopes that it will be seen again in the future and asks her to leave safely. We come back to Rerir's memory of that day. Dane and Sertologi were to fight the royal guards, while Reindotir and Hrokdatir disarm the security. Rerir leaves to rescue Vedrfolnir. Vedrfolnir tells Rerir he warned the king about the fall of Khaenri'ah. If he didn't let go of his obsession and the king didn't like it, he'd be punished. Rerir, desperate yet determined, asks Vedrfolnir if there's any way to change his fate, to save his future with Theelindis. He advises Rerir to persevere through whatever trials lie ahead and to hold on to belief that as long as he continues to live, his story with Theelindis will never truly come to an end. Soon, there's an explosion at Universitas Magistrorum. Vedrfolnir suggests heading there. Rerir remembers the king had installed some kind of security mechanism that runs on abyssal energy, and that must have gotten activated tonight due to the chaos. People were crying for help. Just then, there was an explosion, and Rerir heads to the Center of Abyss Research at the Universitas. He finds Theelindis, attacked by monsters.
Rerir! So the rumors about your work are true.
What? No! Listen, something happened at the palace tonight. We have to leave!
You don't need to lie to me anymore.
What do you mean?
I know why you're worried, and I will respect the decision you've made. But it's okay, because I found a solution. I know how to end all this. You can have it back. The normal life you so desire. But until then, I'm afraid our wedding will have to wait.
Theelindis? No, don't do it! Theelindis! Theelindis!
I told you, Rerir. Let her go. You will find someone better.
No, I won't do it! I have to save her!
By what means exactly? A lowly pawn. You lack the power and the strength of will.
Do you know a way? Tell me!
Come to the palace. Join us.
Rerir, thank goodness we...
Step forth and take your share.
You made it.
Not you too.
Hatred or grief, despair, desire. We all have our own.
Rerir. Rerir.
Theelindis.
Were you daydreaming? You still remember, Rerir? That question you asked me a couple of weeks ago?
Oh. You mean the proposal.
Yeah. I'm wondering, where do you think would be a good place to discuss it? Maybe in the garden? Or were you thinking a fancy restaurant?
It's your choice. Find you. And then, you can give me your answer.
And that's how the Rerir of Solnari was born. With all the new intel, Nefer plans to head back. But instead of them getting teleported to a different region, Nefer is the one who controls everything in the ceremony. But there seems to be some sort of anomaly. Nefer's past unfolds. She was born in the Shimti tribe, where her father served as chief. Their people struggled against endless sandstorms and a dire lack of water. In desperation, her father once took water from the neighboring Iwab and Anut tribes. Hoping for aid, he wrote to a scholar he had helped before, asking the Sumeru Academia to name him a special ambassador and send scholars to mediate the conflict. But no help ever came. The angry tribespeople blamed Nefer's father for stealing their water source and massacred the entire Shimti tribe, leaving only corpses in the sand. Nefer was eventually rescued by an elder from Aru village, who later helped her enroll in the Sumeru Academia. However, life there was harsh. Desert dwellers like her faced discrimination. Their curriculum was limited and they were denied access to Akasha terminals. One day, Nefer searched the archives to see if her father's plead for aid had ever reached academia. There, she discovered countless unopened letters, many requesting Grand Sage Azar for fair education and equal rights. Among them were her father's final letters, still unanswered. Realizing that the world only favors the successful and abandons the desperate, Nefer decides to leave the academia for good. She heads for the Iwab tribe, posing as a special ambassador, creating a discord between Iwab and Unut tribes over their well. Both of the tribes ended up killing each other, hence fulfilling her revenge.
Look at yourselves. You may be vile, savage monsters, but your butchered bodies bleed like any others. You're no different. You're nothing special at all. The monsters who destroyed my home, they're just ordinary, petty human beings. What a joke. I think we're even now. Maybe I've even done the desert a favor. It's a better place without all these people around.
As the memory reaches its end, Nefer and the group head towards the temple of Ibis King and are ready to leave. They find Ashru, only to realize Rerir had found them inside.
It's just Ashru.
So, all is well?
Typically speaking, at this point, the world disintegrates. Then we find ourselves back in the outside world, Besides, these are my memories. There's nothing to fear.
You're sure?
Of course. It's almost over.
Hold on!
Knowing too much is always a death sentence.
Speak for yourself.
How repulsive.
Saved by Columbina and Dainsleif, the team arrives back at the curatorium, and Nefer seals Rerir inside her chest box. It's time to share the intel. The entire group gathers in the curatorium office. She shares everything they learned. Nefer recounts all of Rerir's story to the group. Flynn asks Columbina if she has heard of that spatial portal that Theelindis used. She shares something called a moon gate. As a moon goddess, she can open the moon gate, which is a path to the moon. But currently, she needs to conserve her energy to fight Rerir. Flynn theorizes that neither Theelindis nor Rerir survived their journey unscathed. The proof being that Rerir of Solnari now exists as countless fragments. With the immense abyssal power Rerir wields, no ordinary force could have harmed him. Yet the wild hunt spreads wherever his fragments lie, drawing monsters to those places. Albedo concludes that Rerir must have been torn apart by a powerful force, explaining why the wild hunt is scattered instead of unified. The group is dismissed and rests for a while before discussing their final plan. After a short rest, everyone regroups at the flagship hotel to finalize their plan. Varka takes charge, outlining the operation in detail. Since Rerir has never demonstrated spatial abilities, the team decides to contain him in a fixed area. Nefer, Lauma, Flynn, and the Traveler will engage Rerir directly. Their task is to provoke him, push him to his limits, and draw out his full strength. Meanwhile, Albedo and Durin will work together to activate the alchemical array designed to extract Rerir's abyssal energy and transfer it to Columbina. Once the energy transfer is complete, Columbina will possess the power needed to face him head-on. As a reminder, Kavaki and abyssal energy are mutually reactive, devouring one another until only the dominant force remains. Durin will use his pyro energy to momentarily synchronize everyone's senses. Aina will support with her weapons. With all roles assigned, the team kept chatting. Before they move out, Dory steps forward with a revelation. The pendant she gave Nefer earlier wasn't just any trinket, it was crafted by Alice. At Alice's warning of an imminent world-threatening crisis, Dory had consulted the Dendro Archon, and together, they had developed another product as an emergency safeguard for moments exactly like this one. On the day of the battle, Traveler meets up with everyone before the plan starts. Traveler joins up with Flynn's, Lauma, and Nefer, where they open the chessboard and start the fight with Rerir.
I've seen all your futile ploys before. You have become the authors of your own demise.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
You are merely a moment of sport before I tear down the moon.
They try to keep Rerir at one place while fighting him. Rerir separates Traveler and Nefer while they engage him.
Is it us you hate? Or is it what you've become?
Let's see what becomes of you! Happening? That power. I've seen it before.
His power is on another level. We'll need to use an alchemical array to convert his power into a usable form. Then quickly channel it into Columbina, rendering her powerful enough to compete with him.
I'll join you. I can help. If I release enough abyssal energy into a confined space, it'll create a potential difference, allowing us to extract a huge amount of elemental energy. Next, I'll synchronize with everyone's minds using pyro, then give you temporary access to their abilities and fields of view. But it won't last long. Can you see?
Well enough.
So, we have a student of Gold Rheindotter in our midst.
How about that?
You use my own power against me?
Just like how you stole Kuvaki. Look familiar?
Don't you realize? You don't have the power to hold that gate open.
I don't, but someone else does.
Goodbye, Rerir.
We won.
During the battle, Nefer's eyes are hurt. Lauma heals her, and everyone heads back for a good rest. The group chills at the tavern and exchange talks. Paimon mentions how the mystery ally never showed up, and then Nefer notices some weird sound. The knave asks Sandrone about her close colleague who stayed behind with her. Sandrone coldly replies that she doesn't know or care. Still, she admits it's been a while since he last bothered her. The knave remarks that if he truly vanished, it would be a blessing to the world, but doubts that's the case. He won't stay quiet forever, she warns, so they should remain vigilant. Later, Traveler and Paimon visit Sandrone to check on her after everything that happened. Paimon insists they just wanted to see if she was all right, since she helped them. Then, she recalls someone from her past, Lord Artificer Alain Guillotin, creator of Fontaine's Mecca. She reveals she knew him personally. Before he died, he asked her to destroy all of his manuscripts, which she did after reading them. Finally, she mentions Alain's two close friends from their youth, Renee and Jacob, all who grew up together in the Narcissenkreuz Institute. Sandrone explains that Alain, Renee, and Jacob shared a friendly rivalry rooted in nostalgia for their childhood. But as they grow older, that nostalgia turns into a dangerous dream, the belief that they could save the world from the coming apocalypse. Renee was the first to fall to this obsession. He began experimenting on a close friend to save their life. Alain disapproved and broke ties. Though deep down, he suspected Renee's motives ran darker. When they finally met again, Renee had completely succumbed to his dream of salvation. His reckless attempt to defy fate ended up creating a disaster. She explains that although Renee's chaotic influence had faded long ago, it recently resurfaced, only to be extinguished once and for all. Renee had tried once more to live out his dream of salvation, but when that dream finally died, so did he. Then, she shifts focus to Alain Guillotin, the Lord Artificer. He once stopped Renee's first catastrophe, but in the aftermath, he lost his family and friends in a tragic accident. Unlike Renee, Alain never sacrificed anyone for his ideals. To protect Fontaine, Alain founded the Fontaine Research Institute. His comfort came only from human intellect, but his genius suffocated him, leaving him no peace. As his life neared its end, Alain finally turned away from equations and returned to the fairy tales of his youth, the same ones once read aloud to the children of the Narcissenkreuz Institute. In the end, he sought only one thing: a peaceful sleep. She reflects that both Renee and Alain were men who wanted to save the world, yet took very different paths. Renee chased his dreams blindly and sank into the abyss with it. Alain, on the other hand, burned himself out, searching for light, unsure where his path led. She tells these stories that were shared to her by Nefer. We leave, letting her continue her afternoon tea.
Hibernation mode. Begin diagnostics.
If you like this video and want to support my channel, that means a lot. I made this channel for fans who love game stories but don't have time to play. On PST, you can enjoy them like a movie. If that's you, let me know in the comments. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.